The series finale of The Boys is now streaming on Amazon and I've just watched it. Let's discuss. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel, or if you're new then welcome on in. My name is Jay. In this video we're going to be discussing my thoughts on The Boys season 5 finale, and this is a spoiler review, so this is your spoiler warning. If you've not seen the episode yet, as usual, save the video to your watch later playlist and come back later when you have seen it. Last warning for spoilers, and without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so after 7 years, The Boys has now come to an end. I know that we've had a pandemic, we've had writer strikes, but I feel like every time that a new season of The Boys came out, I really had to go back and remind myself what on earth was happening. There was such a gap between each season that I forgot all the little plot details that we were supposed to remember and then kept going back to. One thing that has remained consistent throughout all 5 seasons, however, and perhaps some critics might say is a little bit drawn out, is the need to finally kill Homelander, who, of course, in this episode, finally meets his end. Kimiko was the one who actually stripped him of his powers, and I think that that works, especially after what happened to Frenchie in the previous episode. It's a nice little bit of revenge on her part. But of course, for 5 seasons now, we've been getting that build up to Billy Butcher finally being the one who killed Homelander. And in the end, in this episode, that is, of course, what happened. I did enjoy seeing Anthony Starr. He's such a good actor, easily the MVP of the whole show. But as he's floundering about, jumping up and down, trying to use his powers and realizing that he's got none left. Such a fantastic actor, and that's on full display here, even in his final moments. Speaking of Butcher, he also meets his end by the hands of Huey, no less, and I think that that whole scene was, I don't want to say beautifully done, but I think it was very well done. I think Butcher himself knows that he's been on borrowed time for quite a few seasons now, especially I think near the end of season 3 onwards, certainly last season. He knows that at some point he's probably going to die. And I was quite surprised that he didn't die in that final battle. I thought, oh, is there a chance here that he will make it out alive? But no, he wants. It was after he finds that sadly his dog has died that is what tipped him over the edge, and he heads off to Vault Tower to release that virus, and where we see that Huey is the one that kills him. And I liked how it wasn't a scene where, afterwards Huey is going to be really annoyed with himself or doubting what he did there. I think after Huey does fire that gun, Butcher reassures him and says that he really didn't leave him a choice. And in a way, I think that Butcher is making peace with his fate. I think he knew it was coming for quite some time. Thankfully, the Deep got his comeuppance too. I can't believe that that guy's stuck around for all 5 seasons. I think I saw that he's one of the few characters that has appeared in every single episode. And I know that he became a bit of a joke character, but he should have died ages ago. That being said, Starlight being the one to do it, again, feels like the only way that you could have done that death correctly. I know technically that she didn't kill him, it was the sea creatures, or the sea life in the ocean that did that. But the fact that she blasts him in there and lets that happen to him makes a lot of sense because she herself is not a murderer, so I don't think it would have been right for her to actually murder him, but certainly putting him on the path that leads to that after a great fight sequence was very well done. Annie and Huey then get their happy ending, and with the reveal that Annie is not only pregnant, but the daughter is going to be named Robin after Huey's ex-girlfriend, who appeared and died in that first episode, which is certainly a choice. I do like the parallels that we have with that first episode of the couple, obviously different girlfriend, but Huey and his new girlfriend or partner Starlight standing outside that store on the street, just like they did in that first episode. So I thought that was a fitting image to close out the series overall because it reminds us of how it all began. I do think that the Gen V characters were incorporated terribly into the season. I get it. It's not their show. This is the boys, and it should be a place where the boys can thrive in that final episode and not be overshadowed by other characters. But when you end your spin-off show, Gen V that is, season 2, with Starlight and A-Train recruiting this group of characters to join the boys, like join the resistance, and ultimately not have them do that, it's weird. You didn't bring them until episode 7 of this season when they appeared only at the start to be told by Starlight, no, no, there's no point fighting. Then we brought them back in at the end of that episode to be told, never mind, you can come help us. Then at the start of the finale, episode 8, we have Marie Moreau and a couple of others come in and they're told, yeah, could you, by Starlight, could you guys go off to Canada? That's weird. This is the series finale. You've got the god level soup that is Marie Moreau. Be told along with her friends, can you take this battle, can you take the fight elsewhere? That's a weird setup that doesn't pay off. If you don't want them to be in the show, then find a way around that. But you brought them in and used them for a couple minutes screen time. What was the point of that setup? Especially now, and this isn't their fault, I suppose, but we're not even getting a resolution to Gen V. So is the end of their characters a little bit of screen time in The Boys going off to Canada? And we didn't even see all of them. Where was Kate? I don't know what was going on there. As well as that, we got an image or some archive footage of Queen Maeve in that previously on segment at the very beginning of the episode. I know that that was put in there for Starlight's sake because she had a moment with Marie, who had just talked about, and with the whole "don't meet your heroes" speech. But come on, if you're showing archive footage of a main character that was on the show previously that's still alive, you're kind of setting your viewers up that she's going to appear at some point in this episode. At least just for a cameo. I know that she's not got powers anymore and that she's not going to be helpful in that fight against Homelander, but why would you do that? Like, you're setting us up. Where's Queen Maeve? You don't have to show her. You can leave her in your happy ending if you want. But I don't know. I got a little bit of hope there. I would have rather they didn't show that scene, but whatever. As per usual, Stan Edgar showed up earlier this season, only to be imprisoned off screen, and then appears for probably less than a minute of screen timing in this episode. I guess that Giancarlo Esposito is an expensive and busy actor. Similarly, Sister Sage lost her powers, is now off to Harry Potter World in Orlando. Fair enough, I guess. I think it's a weird choice to just leave her there. I don't know if we're going to see her again in another project within the Boys universe, but very weird ending to her journey. At the start of the season, I kind of wanted her to die as things went on. I wasn't really sure, but I guess that's her. Enjoy Harry Potter World. After declaring that she wouldn't resign, Ashley Barrett was hilariously impeached in one of the best juxtaposed shots of the whole show. Meanwhile, her arranged marriage, her husband, old father, died in a rather explosive manner. For me, that was the death that I was probably most shocked by, not because I thought that he was going to survive, but just the way and how fast it happened. Very well done. I enjoyed that one a lot. After what I thought was a very middling final season that spent too much time setting up Vault Rising, in my opinion, the finale mostly stuck the landing. So overall, I would give the finale alone 4 stars. I think the show overall is probably drawn out a little bit, especially with the story they're telling. They could have shortened it by a season. There's some things in this season that I didn't really feel were necessary. And to be told in a final season of a show, some side plots that I'm like, why are we spending time on this? But overall, as I said, I enjoyed the finale. So I'm happy that looking back, it doesn't end in a bitter manner. That is all for me on this one. Please hit that subscribe button and comment your thoughts down below. Give the video a like, and I will be back soon with more film and TV discussion. That is all for now. Bye.